let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rushing, where the passion and the chaos wins with a town pride loud within. This is where the game and fun begin. You're listening to Fools Rushing, where the passion and the chaos wins with a town pride loud within. This is where the game and fun begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rushing, where the passion and the chaos wins with a town pride now within. This is where the game and fun begin. You're listening to Fools Rushing, where the passion and the chaos wins with a town pride now within. This is where the game and fun begin.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to Fools Rushing. Yes, in what has become a rarity over the summer, we are live streaming on a Friday. It's still exceedingly warm, stupidly warm. I'm so hot. And no, that's not me being egotistical and thinking a lot of myself. I am actually burning up. We have actually quite a bit to talk about this week. We've had the fixtures, we've had the Carabao Cup, we've had the Virtue Trophy, and so plenty for our panel to talk about. Plus, we have the big match tomorrow to talk about: England versus the giants of world football that are Panama, and a chance to secure top spot because, well, we couldn't get it done when we were supposed to against Ghana. But that's a different conversation entirely. We have a very good panel. We have one that is ready to go, one that's eating his dinner and hoping that I bring him on last, and one that's still trying to get on, but his computer decided to do an update as Fools started going live. So we will do our very best. And I am breaking with tradition to an extent. I have an intro question, but for the first time, the Fools have had time to prep. They didn't know they had time to prep, but they've had time to prep because I am asking a question that's been going around social media. You may have seen it yourselves. It has been causing chaos in group chats up and down the country all week. Radio 1 have been talking about it. It's been all over Instagram. And I'm going to ask the boys what they think today, and I want to know what you think as well. That is all to come. But first, a little public notice. I am taking, I know, drum roll, a holiday. And therefore, with it being the summer, there is no FRI at all next week. I'm very sorry. No Monday show, no Friday show. We will be back on the 6th of July, which some of you may remember is Bake Off Day. Very, very excited. Also, some of you will have heard, but won't know what I'm talking about, that there's been a little side series streaming on Fools Rush In with me and my mate Smuts doing what we're calling Late Limbs FC. Well, for the first time, this has worked perfectly for me because all of tonight's panel are now in the squad. So I get to do things like this. I can intro the people with their player graphics. If you're not familiar with what that is, we have edited the Championship Manager database from the 01-02 season. We've created our own team and we've put real life people in it. And we're trying to get promotions. We've just done back-to-back from non-league. We're into what is now commonly known as League One, Division 2 on the game. We're looking to get all the way to the Prem and then Europe. But as I say, all of tonight's panel are in the squad. So I get to do things like this. Introducing the man who's been here plenty of time, not eating his dinner, not suffering with computer updates, not suffering with illness. We get the man, the myth, the legend that is this young man here. Yes, up first, it is Wazza. Good evening, Waz.
Evening. God, 18. God, that was a long time ago.
How you coping with the heat, mate?
Mate, it's tough, isn't it? It's been tough, week, working with, I felt for my lads.
Yeah,
I felt for my lads this week, my boys in the unit and the lads out on the vans as well. It's just been tough. Even today, where you felt like it had dropped a few degrees, it was still proper warm.
Over 30 as well, still.
Yeah, so I'm glad they've got the weekend to recuperate and just sort of, get ready. And hopefully it's going to cool off a little bit. But we're just not geared for this, are we? Do you know what I mean? It's like people say, when you're away on holiday, but you're just a lot more relaxed. You're trying to get on with normal life, and it is tough. But yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, they were proper warm because we were down here, we were in that red warning, and it was, proper tough. The kids were off. So that doesn't help with a family-run business because obviously ours, bless her, we were working around my sister and getting having the kids for the day, and But here we go. Challenges, all fun and games, but we've got through it. It's Friday. We've got the weekend now, and looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Advance notice of incoming spoiler. We're going to talk about the England game a little bit later, but of course the World Cup is an everyday event. We're currently sat here as the second half kicks off between France and Norway. France are winning 3-1 at the moment, but it has been an enjoyable game.
Yeah, enjoyable game. A lot of people have been quite negative about the World Cup. I've actually quite enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I've probably not watched as many games as I've wanted to because of the times and with it being getting up for work and all stuff like that. But I've actually quite enjoyed the BBC highlights that they've done 8 to 10 minute highlights per game. So you're just not just watching the goals, you're actually seeing a good chunk of what's happened and stuff like that and watching all the key moments. I love a World Cup, mate. As me and you are probably in the Fools group. We and you are the ones that just love it the most, don't we?
I'd say so.
But I've actually really enjoyed it. A lot of people crabbing the format. I kind of get it with a couple of the games, like that Paraguay-Australia one yesterday. Point was both enough for both of them to qualify, so you could see it was a bit of a dead rubber. But I've enjoyed watching some of the teams. I've loved watching Cape Verde. I've loved watching. I thought they were a bit like that. Curacao have been really deep, have been good to watch, and it just shows with these lower nations. It's like a lot of people say they're just why are they? But this is what it's all about for them, and them just being there for the free games and having a good go and and having a, you know what I mean, just having a pop at these big nations. I quite enjoyed watching Ecuador yesterday taking on the Germans. Do you know what I mean? And they proper went for it because they knew they had to win, and they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a really, I've really enjoyed the tournament. Actually, obviously, it's not because it's England. We expect us to get through the group stages, otherwise it's complete catastrophe. So this is quite an enjoyable part of the tournament, and then when we ramp it up, it gets a little bit more harder to watch for England, doesn't it? So
Absolutely.
the worst, or well, not the worst, hopefully not the worst, but the toughest watches are yet to come, I think. So
there's a reason we picked the Panama game for the Fools Summer get together.
yeah, so it's not,
should be the
yeah,
most
but I'm quite.
enjoyable.
It should be, and I'm quite happy that we kind of. I know we weren't happy that we with the Ghana performance, and I know we're going to talk about this later. But I was kind of like, I'm happy that there's still something riding on it tomorrow. That we do need to win because we want to guarantee top spot in the group, definitely. And yeah, so England need to go out there, put on a performance, and win the game tomorrow. So yeah, if we would have been at 6 points, there might have been a lot more changes than what there could have been, than what there is going to be. So hopefully, yeah, we go out there and put a performance in.
Yeah, no, definitely. As part of my intro, you can tell it's pre-season and I'm not quite match fit yet.
Penalty Norway. Penalty Norway.
It is a penalty as well.
Yeah.
Very much depends. I missed off the very important bit of the intro where I say that we are live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X, and that means that the live chat, as always, is available. So whether you want to talk Swindon Town fixtures, transfers, or the World Cup, or anything else besides, please do throw those comments in the chat. We can get them up on screen, and you can be part of the show. Next up, he would not let updates ruin his evening. He would not let illness ruin his evening. And he will not let the fact that he's an OG player that's getting absolutely no first-team football at Late Limbs FC affect his appearances on the show. Evening, Woody.
Good evening. Story of my life,
noise?
that.
Are you in a
what
wind
noise?
tunnel or something?
Oh, I don't know. Let me have a look.
Did you hear that was?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
Hold on. Is that better?
That's calmed down. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. By the way, there's
Oh,
no
now
way
I'm getting
Woody's.
Woody's.
There's no way Woody's younger than me. By the way, on Late Limbs, I'm not having that.
Well, that's the joy of Woody being an OG player and you coming in a season late.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Woody, I know that you're not feeling quite 100%, but how's things? Oh, he's missed the pen.
Has he missed it? Strand Larson. Oh no way.
Oh yeah, sorry, Was. I forget you're 30 seconds beyond.
30 seconds. He's just about to run up and take it now. Yeah, that's why tomorrow no one can look at their phones because otherwise it's just going to ruin. Oh, he's had a nightmare. I hate the stutter. Sorry, Woody. The stutter pen is just horrendous, isn't it?
Here we go. Don't get me started on the stutter pen.
What is he doing?
Anyway,
it's an awful penalty.
Woody, it's great to see you, mate. How are you?
Woody, great to see you.
Cheers, mate. I'm not gonna lie, lads. I am rough as fuck. But it's I've been kind of bored all evening, so I was like, I don't really want to just sit and watch Fools and try and be on it. But yeah, I mean, the weather probably hasn't helped. I've had this kind of chesty cough all week, but I've had to do a lot of driving around and because I've been delivering training all week at work, so my voice hasn't had any real chance to rest. And then mix that in with probably going in humid conditions and then going straight into air-conditioned car is probably not helping. So can't seem to shake it, but it's getting better. Although it does feel fucking hot in my kitchen. It's the first time I've probably sat down at my desk for about 2 weeks. But it is fucking hot, isn't it? But yeah, we complain when it's cold and raining, don't we? So
don't we just? Chris is here in the chat. Evening, Chris says hopefully Swindon get promotion this year and England beat Panama tomorrow and England women beat New Zealand in the Women's Cricket World Cup. And maybe England men could beat New Zealand in the test match and England's football team can win the World Cup. Let's have it all, Chris. Why not? Let's go for everything. Aim, shoot for the stars. The worst you'll get is the moon or whatever.
We know which one will let us down.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
Oh,
And Sean's also here, says evening all. Good
evening, Sean.
Hope all is well. I'm just gonna. Well, I'm looking in the bottom to see if our fourth panelist who will give me a thumbs up or down as to whether he's finished his dinner and he's actually ready to come on. But he keeps turning his camera on and off. So what I'm going to do is
bring him on
go
anyway.
back to- bring him on anyway. We can watch him eat.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good to come on. Yeah. He says yes.
Live production. Live production.
Yeah, exactly. The newest member of Late Limbs FC, our 18-year-old Turkish centre back that is Barry. Good evening, Barry.
Yes, boss.
Looks a bit Turkish, doesn't he? Looks a bit Turkish.
Yes, boss.
Good on, Barry.
Very good,
Barry
very nice.
sent a list of names and he was like, that's the one I want. So that's the one he got.
I'm not going to lie, I had no idea who it was. I was just like, that looks quite funny. We'll go for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, welcome to the team. Welcome to the panel. How's things, Barry? You enjoying the weather?
Not really, no. It's a bit too hot for a fat lad, I got to admit. It's,
Yeah, I can't lie.
It's not even nice sat out in the garden. It's just too much. But it appears to have cooled off a little bit. I might venture out to the patio in a bit.
Well,
as a child
it'd be rude not to.
attacking the fridge.
Absolutely. Now, I mentioned in the intro that I'm breaking with convention a little bit because this is the first time, I think, in 5.5 years that technically you guys have had time to prep for the intro question without knowing that you had time to prep. Wazza then looked very confused, like he'd missed something, and was very upset with himself in the lobby. So let me explain. There has been a question that was doing the rounds of the Fools chat after I found it on Instagram, and it caused such chaos at work, I'm bringing it to the live stream because people were genuinely arguing in the office. I don't think any work got done today because people could not agree on what the correct answer is. So mainly for the people watching, but I can't remember which way at least two of you went with this. Today's intro question is, in your opinion, which could you throw further? A baguette or a naan bread? Which could you throw further? A baguette or a naan bread? Now, Woody, you clearly remember this question. You chuckled as soon as I started speaking, which I believe from memory, you agreed with me.
Yeah, and a reason I chuckle is because I just remember how much the chat erupted when we started talking about. I think I gave my answer, and I can't remember what I was doing at the time. But then I went back and came back to about 50 messages just about a fucking baguette and a naan bread. I originally went with naan bread, and I still want to kind of stick with that because for me, you would frisbee a naan bread.
Frisbee,
and then there was loads of technicalities being chucked in it about whether the baguette was stale or whether if you've got a stale naan bread, is that going to go further in the frisbee? I think I'm still going to stick with the naan bread because I think the naan bread's dimension, it still has the ability to travel no matter how weak your arm is, but baguette is very much relying on how good you are at javelin.
I can honestly tell you, with the different group chats and asking this question at work, I have polled over 100 people on this question, and this is genuinely closer than Brexit. This vote, the amount people have been arguing. Barry, I believe you saw this question the other day. Have you had time to consider your options? Which way are you going with it? Are you a baguette thrower?
Nah, throw them both in the bin. Go for the crumpet. Is it a whole baguette though? That's the question.
Well, I mean, it's just described in the question as a baguette, so I'm treating it as like a half a French stick almost.
Oh, now that will affect the aerodynamics. It's a naan bread.
Yeah.
Jesus. Sorry, we've got two dogs fighting behind me. And the wife crawling across the kitchen floor because she doesn't want to be on the camera. That's naan bread all day long.
Naan bread, okay. Was?
No, you're a bit silly, isn't it? Like baguette, you probably could. It's like you javelin throw it, isn't it? You're going to get it a bit further. It's logically, isn't it? Like naan bread could be a bit flimsy, and if you try to fling it too much, it's just going to split in half. I think a French baguette has got a bit more structure to it and probably could take a bit more, of a throw. So I can't believe we're talking about this, to be perfectly honest.
So we know what's coming up in the next Falls Olympics, don't we?
What do you mean? We're going to do it down Bruce Street tomorrow night. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to go and buy a naan bread and a baguette.
Just videos of us launching bread down the street.
Ellen's in the background going, we actually should do that tomorrow night.
Be on tomorrow's. It'll be on Monday's swing an advert. 10 men get arrested on Bruce Street for throwing bakery items down the cart.
Everybody has to bring one bread item to fling.
Yeah. Either a baguette or a naan bread. Everyone just running down to Aldi tomorrow.
Mike says, first time I've ever had no opinion whatsoever on an intro question. Mike, we need to know what you think. Honestly, it's the big debate of the week all over the internet.
And then you got to measure up where you get it from as well, and all sorts.
Is an Asda baguette different to a Tesco's baguette?
I mean,
different to Sainsbury's
baguette? You're not getting anything from Little Bakery, are you? Because that's always far baked. Yeah.
I normally trust Sean's opinions on the intro questions. I'm quite intrigued to what Sean thinks as well.
Well, please do send your answers in on the intro question. If you've just tuned in and you're like, what is going on here? Today's question is, in your opinion, which could you throw further, a baguette or a naan bread? Let us know. But yes, as I say, I've canvassed over 100 people on this, and it's probably pretty much 51-49.
Wow.
I do think in favour of baguette, though. People think they can javelin throw further than
that's what I think. You probably get a bit more from it. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Anyway,
we'll see tomorrow.
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see who damages what vehicles with what bread items.
Just going to get some naan bread and leave it out overnight so it goes nice and stale, so it's proper.
That's where you've got an opportunity with that. That's if it's a fresh naan bread, you end because it can get a bit hot, flimsy. You know what I mean? But if you've got it stale, that you've probably got a better chance with it. Yeah. Why are we still going on about it? Sorry.
And then we're just going to get the poppadoms out and just start throwing them as
well. Or you could have a real artisan baguette with the fine point on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
Can't have a cheese top one. Be too turbulent through the air, that would.
What about like a tiger loaf?
It's
quite sturdy.
Yeah, and what if you got the seeds on the top? That wouldn't look very good. Or what if you've got one of those naan breads that are like absolutely massive? You know, like the ones you get like in the bakery aisle versus just those little ones you get in a pack of 2.
Yeah.
I reckon one of those Blackpool naan breads that we had, that could fly quite well. Probably kill someone if it hit them.
Yeah, that was probably because it was solid as a rock, yeah.
STFC on X says, any rumours? Yes, rumour has it we're going to be smashing up houses in Rodbourne with stale bread tomorrow night, is the rumour. And then Mike says, giraffe bread.
Oh,
this is what happened in the Fools chat. I asked, which do you think out of 2 options? And people were like, well, what about a croissant? And then there was clever dick remarks like, no, look at the shape of it. It'll boomerang back.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one or the other. Anyway, as I said, enough of this nonsense. People want to hear your guys' thoughts on Swindon Town, not your guys' thoughts on which bread can be thrown further. The fixtures were released.
What about a foot-long sausage roll?
We're
those things are dreadfully floppy. They ain't going very far at all, are they?
They threw plenty of them this year in the bin.
Fixtures were announced yesterday, guys. Obviously, it goes without saying we have to play everyone twice regardless. But having had a flick through, I don't think it's the worst assortment of fixtures necessarily. I mean, let's start. I suppose best places at the beginning was if you're going to start away from home, Northampton away isn't the worst, is it?
I'll be a sellout easily, won't it? We'll be well supported there. One of the closest away games that we'll have this season. We'll be well supported. I'm actually away on holiday, a bit gutted, but not gutted. I know. Well, I actually land back in the country that day, and yeah, if it was at home, I would have definitely made it. But away, I'm probably just gonna have to suck it up and miss it. But it is what it is.
I do recall someone last season was away on a trip, flew back into the country and made it to the Swindon game.
Who was that? Well, it wasn't Junior Hoylett, was it?
No, it was Woody the coach. Do you not remember when he came back?
Oh yeah,
outrageous tan.
It was a home game though, so like I said, I would have made it for the home game. But no, sort of tough start. I think Northampton would be all right coming down from League One. Be a tough, tough away day. And then I'm quite looking forward to the Cheltenham game. I think the first home game of the season is always going to be quite good, and I think we, after Cheltenham, done a job on us last year, and I think the Steve Cotterill factor. I think they're going to be a lot more competitive this year. I think Cotterill's definitely going to have gone, look, I've got you out of trouble this year. I want a little bit more back in. I want, you know what I mean? I think that's just the way that Cotterill will be. But I think that's a good start, you know what I mean? A good first home game. Cheltenham will bring some fans. There should be a good atmosphere there. And yeah, I think it's a good start to the season, to be honest, just to get our teeth right into it. Two good games. First away and first home. Looking forward to it.
I agree. I mean, Barry, as what says there, Northampton away, Cheltenham at home, Oldham away completes August in terms of league fixtures. It's going to be tough, but it should be a decent intro to the season and a real test of where we are as a club.
I mean, it'll definitely give people something new to moan about going to a new club. But I mean, yeah, fingers crossed. The season starts how we want it to start, with a decent away day, good result, smash the local team next, and then fingers crossed we're on a roll, which would be nice.
Like last year.
Do it all again.
Well, I mean, Woody, how realistic? I know we're still quite a way away, and we'll have a much better idea close to the time, but just 24 hours removed from the fixtures being announced, how realistic do you think it is that we've got 9 from 9? Or is it more likely we've got 0 from 9, in your opinion?
Well, it's a bit like what the was kind of just alluded to. If we kind of try and find that form that we had in the first half of the season, albeit not the first couple of games, then 9 out of 9 is not impossible. I haven't really seen too much activity from Cheltenham, but in terms of like Northampton will be decent. As well said, they've come down from League One, but at the same time, we will still have that tiny bit of confidence. You'd like to think that we did finish in the top half of the table. We will be going into this season, regardless of signings, etc. We'll go into this season as one of the favourites. I'm also a bit gutted because I might not be able to go to that game. Which is a bit annoying because I really enjoy Northampton away normally. But I've got all of my girls' teams in the academy have got away friendlies against Wolverhampton Wanderers, which I could probably miss. But if one of my coaches is on holiday, then I'm probably going to have to take that team. So I don't know yet whether I'll be able to go to that one.
You're slowly becoming the pantomime villain of FRI this week. Because we'll come to it in a bit, but it's because of you that we're missing Rochdale away as well.
Oh, I know. When the first fixtures I looked at were, what was the first away game of the season, and can I make it? What was the first home game? Not too well, because I'd be able to pretty much do all the home games this year. Then I went, right, Stag Do, Wedding. Let's just make sure that those two are away games, and they, I'm not bothered about Newport personally. I know that bothers Rich, but Rochdale I was particularly bothered about personally. But it is what it is. At least it's away games that not home games. So
I was buzzing when I saw it was 2 away games. You just think, yeah, that'll do. Newport's a shithole anyway. We don't want to go there again. We'll watch that. We'll find a way to watch it, won't we? We'll find a way.
Just on the subject of looking out
in the cocktail hour, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going to go for all of these specifically, but I did also clock that Fleetwood away was just before Christmas and thought, oh, fucking hell, is that going to ruin another fucking Fool's designated away day?
That's my birthday weekend as well, that one.
We enjoyed our trip to Blackpool last time we went.
Yeah. I keep looking for Notts County and then I forget. Oh.
Chris says, I'd settle for 4 points from the first 2 games, but hopefully we get 6. let's jump into September, and I'll stick with you, Woody, because I had the pleasure of featuring briefly on OSC yesterday. I got to talk the fixtures up until Christmas before I had to jump off for other commitments. But September sees us host Port Vale. And I think it is potentially a bonus because there is still ill feeling between the two sets of fans. The bonus for that is it is on a Tuesday night, which should reduce the numbers that are there. But also in September, not that I'm picking out fixtures, the one that everyone seems to want, the one where we will take more away fans than we will even get to a home game by the amount that Swindon fans seem to want to go. York away is the prelude to Salford away a week later.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that I definitely have got kind of on my list. I've never actually been to York itself either, so I wouldn't mind going to York itself. But you just know, and I don't want to put it down on it, but you know if there's any of the 17 games that are going to be 12:30 kickoffs this year, York City away for Swindon is going to be one of them, and that will really piss me off personally. But yeah, it's one that I'll have an eye on. Obviously, Port Vale's is that a Tuesday night, the 1st of September? I'm guessing.
Yes.
So yeah, it's September is one, and I know this is probably kind of cliche, but how hard September will depend on how we start in August. If we have a really good first 3 games in August, I'm confident for September. But if we start poorly, I worry about September. York won't be an easy place to go to. Salford, we already know, is not an easy place for us to go to anymore. It used to be, but it's not anymore. Yeah, obviously Port Vale hate us just as much as we hate them in some ways. So yeah, I think it depends on. For me, September really depends on what we do in August as to the level of how hard it will be.
Madden has messaged in on Twitter, says Swindon Town getting promotion in 26-27 or England winning the World Cup would be great. #Happy Pride Month. Barry, so the full list for September: Port Vale at home, Colchester at home, York away, Salford away, Accrington at home. Woody's just said there that whatever happens in August will kind of determine for him how September comes across. Do we start to take stock there, or do we kind of wait till October because of the transfer window closing, squad settling down?
I think September personally looks, although there's less games, it looks a little bit trickier than October for us, I reckon.
Okay.
If you look at October, who have you got in there? The only new ones in there are Rochdale and Rotherham.
Yep.
And the rest of them are fairly, it's going to sound terrible to say it, but there's nothing exciting there. Crewe, Walsall, Barnet and Rovers.
What do you mean? Are you missing the fact that for the 3rd fixture in a row, we're playing Barnet on a Tuesday? We play Barnet at home on a Tuesday. We play Barnet away on a Tuesday. And now we've got Barnet away on a Tuesday again.
It's
It
because
just means just get to see more trains.
Yeah, exactly. It's because this squad this season is built to lose every single midweek game.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So what is it about September then? That is it just the nature of the teams on the list you feel that will make it hard, or is it kind of where they're coming from?
Port Vale's just going to be a tricky one because of the history. Everything could be made out to make a big deal of it, even though I think it's only the kit men and Minturn that were here when we last played them. But that will still be a big thing. Colchester, we don't seem to have had much luck with at all. Like you say, York is an interesting fixture. Everyone's up for it. Salford, we don't really need to say anything else there, do you? And Accrington, well, it's never been easy, has it? No. I mean, was that the 4-4 draw the other year where we were miles up and it went tits up?
4-0 up with
wasn't it?
15 minutes to go or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I can just see it being tricky, more so than the others. Okay. A funny feeling I've got. But like Woody said, if we roll through August all right, I think we'll be going into it with a bit of confidence.
So looking at those first 2 months, we would have played two of the sides that came down from League One and one of the sides promoted from the National League.
Yeah, it's it's tough the first 2 months, isn't it? Because everyone's still going to be sort of feeling each other out, seeing who's going to be where, who's been backed, who's built a decent squad through pre-season, who starts well. There's so many ifs, buts, and maybes, and we're still, you know what I mean? We're not even at the start of pre-season yet, are we, for Swindon? And it's nearly the end of June, which is very weird because of the World Cup and everything like that, and the delay to the start. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's one of those that you just got to see what's in front of you each game, haven't you? To take it game by game. I think I don't know how York will be. You know what I mean? Some that have come up from the National League, they'll come up with a bit of confidence and have a go, I suppose. But yeah, tough playing the teams on the way down. I don't know if the Port Vale thing will be as much as I know it will be there, but you know what I mean? There's no Darryl Clark there anymore. I'll be interested to see when we play Tranmere, because that will be a bit of the added spice now to that game with Darryl Clark being there, because that's I think where the hate comes from, really, that we just don't like their manager with his history. So yeah, I don't know. We've got to just start taking it game by game, and this year, we going into this sort of season, I don't really know how we're going to see. If we haven't had a good start and we're into October, November, and we're not where we want to be, especially after the way we started last season, he's going to be under some serious pressure, isn't he? He's going to be under some serious pressure, especially the way that it's ended last season and what they've done with the staff, and which we'll come on to, I'd imagine. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. At the moment, we could beat anyone in this league, and we can certainly lose to anyone in this league. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, Barry, I know you've kind of already referenced it, but let's have a deeper look into October. So we do have Rochdale away. They are riding the crest of the wave of promotion, so it'll be interesting to see how they're doing. And we would have seen both of the promoted sides by then. Crewe, Walsall, we pretty much know everything we need to know about those. As we say, Barnet on a Tuesday night. Bristol Rovers, already a lot of people's favourites for promotion with the business they're doing early doors. And then another one of the relegated sides to finish the month, a home game against Rotherham. So although you said that you personally felt September was tougher, for me personally looking at that, I think it's getting tougher as the months go by with how the fixtures are going there.
I think getting a squad together is going to be the toughest thing for us this year, to be honest. It all depends what momentum we go in with, really.
Yeah,
I think
bang on.
It's going to be such a struggle after how last year finished that it's all going to be down to momentum, and if Holloway changes his mindset, because it didn't work. So. And plus, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games. We're bound to lose at least 2 to injury by then. Guaranteed. So we could be clutching at straws by mid-October, I reckon.
And if they play Clark against Cardiff, he might be out for another 8 games.
Tickle, tickle.
Was just kind of wider picture. As I say, by the time we finish October, we would have played both promoted sides and 3 of the relegated sides. Where do you think the bigger threats coming from? Is it the strength of the sides that have come down, or the momentum of the sides that have come up? Because we've seen a lot of sides go back-to-back promoted from National League, League 2. We have seen teams get relegated and bounce straight back up. We've also seen teams get relegated and struggle.
Yeah, I think the biggest threats are going to come from the teams that are already in League 2. That's how, like, that we're in League 2. I don't know too much about the York and the Rochdale. Surely your aim when you're coming up from the National League first season is just to consolidate and try and stay in the league. That's surely got to be their game plan. So that's what I see from them. I think the teams that have come down, they're all in a bit. I know it's easy to say when you've been relegated, but they're all in a bit of not turmoil, but you know what I mean, they're not coming down. And what I look at with these teams, thinking, oh, there's a load of backing. Rotherham still haven't got a manager. So and they've been linked with Scott Lindsay because they've seemed to have not.
Did I hear yesterday?
They've not even been agreed. They couldn't agree with Sadler. They couldn't agree with whoever else, and they've had a real struggle getting a manager through the door. So that can't be good if you haven't got anyone in already talking transfers and who you're going to bring in and stuff like that. Northampton and Port Vale, not really teams that I look at and think, oh my God, you know what I mean? That's going to be a. You know what I mean? I don't look at them and think they're going to be easy games. Definitely not. But I don't look at them and fear them and think, oh my God, they're going to be running away with it at the top end of the league. I could see it being, you know what I mean, one of the teams that are already in this league and sort of teams pushing from there, really. And hopefully we're part of that. I just don't know. I just don't know what to expect with us this year. I really, really don't. I think Barry was right. I think the start of the season this year is absolutely vital for us to try and get everyone back on side, and to try and get everyone back through the door and trying to see where we can go again. But on the answer to the question with regards to like the teams, I don't fear the teams coming up or down. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't look at them and think, oh, they're definitely going to be towards the top end of the league. I could see it being teams from League Two that were there last season.
Woody, by the time October finishes, we will be roughly a quarter of the way through the league fixtures. What do you feel represents positivity and success from an opening quarter of the season? Because the fixture numbers per month are ramping up each time. You know that you've got things like the FA Cup on the horizon. There's obviously the virtual games and stuff in between, which we'll come to. But as I say, by the time Halloween's come, we've done about a quarter of the season.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, similar to how I saw last season, if we're kind of even at quarter waypoint, if we're still in that top 7, that's what I'd be concerned about. And what I don't want to really see come October, which we haven't really seen kind of the last maybe 5 to 10 years, we just don't want a top 3 to start looking like they're separating at that point, unless we're in it. So although most of the time in October you don't get that anyway, but it's as long as we're still in the top 7, I don't mean in touch with it, I mean in the top 7 and carrying that momentum forward. Barry makes a great point about making sure that our players our key players aren't injured or suspended for fingering. And it's so I think it's as long as I would see success. We get to the end of October. Well, I say success so far. We get to the end of October with a squad still intact. You're going to get occasional injuries from players, of course you are, but as long as we've got no major injuries and we're still in the top 7 at that point, going into what will be with the FA Cup as well, going into what will be always a challenging November-December period.
Well, sticking with you, Woody, it's interesting you say that. I referenced last night that although it does seem cliche, looking through the fixtures, I thought November into December was going to be critical for us. So we got Grimsby, Newport, Chesterfield, home in November. And then December offers up a potentially tricky looking Gillingham away, Fleetwood away, Tranmere at home. Boxing Day, we have Shrewsbury away before we finish 2026 with Exeter at home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they come up with these fixtures sometimes, personally. A Tuesday night in December for travelling fans to go to Gillingham's a bit strange, but obviously that happened this year as well, didn't it? I think, well, not in December, but it was definitely a Tuesday night, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Shrewsbury away on Boxing Day is a very interesting one. I think the day before the fixtures come out, Fifey, we were talking all in the group chat about, how it makes sense to have kind of your Northampton or what would have been MK Dons, and all of those made sense on Boxing Day. And then all of a sudden they give Shrewsbury away. But that's the one thing I always thought was quite common, was you would always get a relatively local or relatively close game on Boxing Day. So I was quite surprised when although Shrewsbury's quite easy to get to, it is still your whole day. It is
they probably looked at it as Swindon took a massive crowd there last season. They'll do it again on Boxing Day.
Yeah,
When was,
potentially.
when was the last time we had a home game on Boxing Day?
A couple of years ago, we had Wrexham, didn't we? Because Disney were there.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
that
of
was-
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone just go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, funny talking about Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury is one of those ones that I'd be keeping an eye on this year as well, because they had a very good finish, like was I said, League Two teams. But I think they're just about to go through their ownership change as well. It looks like that their ownership change is going through. So if that goes through, I'm always cautious of real ownership changes, because they proper ones tend to pump a bit of money in the first season to get that good impression, like our Lord and Savior did in that first season. So it's yeah, Fleetwood away, Blackpool. Let's go see the Christmas lights in Blackpool if they're turned on at that point. Fleetwood's not bad, but then we look at this season and the way the weather patterns are at the moment, it's almost hard to judge December and January because you don't know what weather we're going to get struck with. So there could be a chance that those 9 games that are happening over, or 10 games that are happening over December and January, probably won't even, half of them might not even happen if the last few years there's anything to go by. So,
True.
it's a bit, dare I say, a nicer fixture build up compared to last Christmas, I think, in terms of who we're playing. It's nice that Crawley have got to come to us on New Year's Day rather than the other way around. But yeah, Exeter isn't too bad a travel for Exeter fans on a Tuesday night either. So, and I swear we always play Tranmere in December. You're going to tell me we didn't last year, but it just feels like Swindon
Well, I
versus
can tell you
Tranmere.
we didn't because we played Tranmere on our live show weekend.
Of course we did, yeah. But it just feels like Swindon versus Tranmere is always guaranteed to be in December. But
The away fixture was stunning. It was blue sky. I can't remember. It was towards the end of the season, wasn't it? I remember we nicked it 1-0, Junior Hoylett. But yeah, it does always feel pretty dismal. But it was the rare occasion last year that it was a bit different.
Well, let's bring you in at this point, Was. We're talking November into December. What do you make of that run of festive fixtures?
Yeah, it's nice to have a couple of, especially with the ones, obviously you get the Boxing Day away, but I think if you look at the festive fixtures, including the New Year's, isn't it 3 out of 4 at home?
Including New Year's Day, yeah. So Tranmere just before, Exeter in between, and then Crawley on New Year's Day are all at home.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I quite like that. You know what I mean? Especially if we can get our home form going. I think around the festive period, I think, especially to the players, I know it's different being a footballer, but I think it'll be a lot nicer to be at home. You know what I mean? I know they've got the Boxing Day fixture away, but you look at that and just think, to be honest with you, they'd probably travel up. I don't know whether they will.
Ollie Palmer would love being in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, God, that'd be amazing. He might even he'll be able to get the chance to whiz by Wrexham. So, especially if they're still paying some of the salary. So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's nice to see some fixtures at home around Christmas, and because I think we had it last. You know what I mean? I think last year was 3 out of the 4 we were away. I think. So it's nice to have some at home around the festive period, definitely. So yeah, I think it's a big opportunity because the games come thick and fast, and you can really get yourself back into some form or get you some momentum going. And I think being at home is a massive help to that. I do agree with Woody. I think Shrewsbury could be a force this season. I was really impressed with their manager and the way that he went about things. That he knew that how they needed to be. He built an identity, a style, and they look good. And they don't. You know, Mugs going on a run that they went on. Let's put it that way. And I think they'll come into this season with a lot of confidence. And I you know what I mean. This is where I see a team like that from last year. We can all mention Rovers, can't we? But none of us want that. But yeah, someone like a Shrewsbury, I wouldn't begrudge seeing them towards the top end of the league because I thought, you know what I mean. I think they look like a team that are going to be tough this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Barry, looking at that run of 8 games there, do you look at that and think it'll be a nice festive period, or is it or have the EFL been the Grinch that stole Christmas?
I think our key 2 fixtures over that period is Tranmere, because we've got them home and away in the space of 3 weeks. So if we can get a 6-pointer out of that, or 4 minimum, I think that could make or break the festive period for us. Looking at it,
Yeah, we have. We've got them towards the end of January, haven't we? Or was it the start of January? Is it?
19th of December at home, and then 9th
I'm going to get this
January
wrong.
away.
I'm going to get this wrong. 9th of January, I think, is Joe's birthday.
Possibly. Does that mean a Fool's weekend up in Liverpool?
We don't mind it.
Could be convinced, because it'll be who's the free? There's like 5 of us in January, isn't there? But I'm sure me, Joe, and either Mark or no, it's Mark, isn't it? Because Archer's at the end of January.
Yeah, Arch is similar to ours. Yeah.
Me, Joe, and Mark have like all of our birthdays within 4 days of each other. So yeah, we could be all off to Liverpool. Given the Woodies ruined every other away day we're having, let's try and plan for January.
Could have been worse. It could have been ruined the home ones.
Yeah,
That's true. That is true. That is true.
Well, January we know. Barry, I'm going to stick with you. January we know is always a contentious time because you've got the transfer window open as well. So Crawley at home to start the year off. Tranmere, as you've highlighted, away. Walsall away on the 16th. Of course, that there may well be an FA Cup third round tie to factor into this as well, which would actually ruin that Tranmere away game. Barnet at home. Oh, hang on. There's no way. But Barnet at home on a Tuesday again as well. Oh God.
Yeah, but you normally find that when
There's
you play
no way.
when if you play the teams, so Gillingham will have at home on a Tuesday. You normally find the teams that you play away each season is you Tuesday and a Tuesday, isn't it? They sort of return the favour.
Barnet at home on a Tuesday. Bristol Rovers then at home before Rotherham away. That looks a very difficult January to manoeuvre while also dealing with the transfer market, Barry.
It looks busy, doesn't it?
It does look busy.
Not the window, Barry.
Does.
Not the transfer window.
Oh, that won't be fucking busy at all, will it? It could be an absolute shitter, really, couldn't it? Looking at that, like I say, it's that Tranmere. If we get a double result on Tranmere, that will make that month a little bit easier, I think.
Okay.
But the transfer window is really going to affect that.
And the thing is, I don't want to be a doomsayer, but you highlighted the point earlier of the pressure that could be mounting on Holloway if the start of the season isn't at least equal to last year. Could we be going into that incredibly busy January and transfer window, maybe with someone else at the helm?
Yeah, we could. I just, like I said earlier, I really don't know how this is going to go. I just genuinely do not know. It's the next few weeks, or the start of pre-season is a massive. The next few weeks is a massive to which way I'm going to sway. I think because they need to start drawing people back in, and that comes by making decent signings.
Like Gav Gunning to assistant manager.
Are we going to talk about that? I'm guessing, aren't we? Is that that's on the old resume? I'd imagine.
Given that you've raised the point, let's just throw it in as a little side quest. Yeah.
That's for me just not inspired any confidence at all. Like, look, I've got no problem with Gav Gunning being on the staff. All right, he's been at the football club a long time. I think Joe put in the comments about a decent question saying what has he actually done wrong?
That's the question. What has he actually done?
Yeah, what's he done wrong? That's the answer to the thing. I don't know. Holloway seems to think that he's made some people better and improved it. But him going up to assistant manager now is just, for me, completely... I just don't get it. I don't understand. You've got rid of Marcus because obviously it was either going to be one or the other between Holloway and Marcus in my eyes. Not that they didn't get on or what we don't know, but I think they just had two different contrasting ideas on how to play. That's what I see it as. And as a coaching staff, you need to see everyone singing from the same hymn sheet. and trying to push in the right direction. I just can't see how this is a positive. I just can't. I don't know enough about this guy that's been in the football club now that is suddenly gone from a youth pathways person to now coaching the first team and being a first team coach. I just what's that? I don't know. I don't know enough about the guy to judge him. So hopefully I'm proved completely wrong. But I just don't get it. I think you needed a fresh pair of eyes. Like, I've been speaking to a few people, and Holloway surely isn't short of a few assistant managers that he's worked with that would have come in that maybe another experienced person that would have come in and just be alongside Holloway. And my brother's made a good point, like recently, saying that you know what Holloway's antics are like, and sometimes when Holloway did get sent off or missed a game, we felt like we had someone missing on the sideline. I would have liked to have seen someone come in that would be just maybe that calming influence. Gav Gunning is not that calming influence. If anything, he's the complete opposite.
It's a great point, and I will ask this question for you to answer, but by all means, Woody, Barry, if you want to jump in as well. Even if it's not a body that Holloway has worked with before, how would you have felt as to maybe a developing coach who has that history with Swindon? Maybe, I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily the right time, but we've had people like Ben Gladwin and Alan Connell who are all coaching themselves at the moment, and they've expressed wanting to get into the next stage up and carrying on their development. What if someone like that had come in as assistant manager, someone that the fans would have instantly got behind?
Yeah.
The problem is they'll all want paying, not just 2 weeks free stay in a house just outside Sydney.
That's true. I interrupt. It is now Norway 1, France 4 in injury time.
Oh, yes, there it is.
Not according to mine, it's not.
Give it a few seconds, Barry.
Well, this is why you should all just watch on normal terrestrial TV instead of splashing out on iPlayers and fancy gadgets.
No, mine's Sky Stream. I didn't have much choice with Sky. They give me the option.
Yes, they give you the option, and you chose to go with the fancy.
My thing, I would wanted to have seen someone like, I was looking at someone like maybe like a Tinian or something from Bristol City, older, experienced head, just to come in, just to give that calming influence or something. I don't know if that was even realistic, but that's just a name that I quite like the idea of. Or my father-in-law kept saying a name that Holloway's worked under. Now, obviously, these people are a lot older now, aren't they? Because if they've worked with Holloway and he's older, maybe they don't want to get back into football. Yeah. But I get it. So, but I don't think what the football club has done is inspired a whole lot of confidence, really, to be perfectly honest. It just looks on paper the cheap option again.
I think they should have gone for Taff, because it at least gives a use to his wage when he's fucked come mid-September.
Yeah, fair. Well, you never know. He might get the defensive coach role now. Now Gunning's been upgraded, so it genuinely could be that.
Could we make the same argument for Clark for when he's suspended for half a season? It gives a reason to still be on the dugout.
So he'll be the midfield coach, and then what? Ollie Palmer is the attacking coach.
Palmer is the attack coach.
Yeah. The players are going to be doing it.
Ollie Palmer will be helping out with social media.
Woody, did you want to jump in at all on Gunning, or are you?
Yeah, Woody, you need to come on.
I think it's a lazy appointment, personally. Similar to Was. I don't necessarily have anything against Gunning. I think sometimes it is easy to forget that he is only like 35, I think. So he's still quite young. He's still quite young himself. But yeah, it's he's probably older than 35 now. I'd have to fact check that. But
I'll be honest, I can't be having this though. I just can't be having this. And I'll be honest, I expected better from you there, Woody, because I don't care whether he's 35, 45 or 55. You take him out of being at Swindon Town and you put him in any other job.
Oh, no. What I'm on about is...
allowed He has a tenure of failure at Swindon Town. He's been
Yeah,
here
yeah,
what,
but
3 seasons, 4 seasons?
Sophie, shut up. It's,
And we're
what
saying,
I'm-
oh,
what
he's
I'm-
young, he gets
yeah,
away
but
with it.
what?
No,
No,
we're far.
where did I say that? I just said I think people forget when we were talking about, you just said about bringing in a young, hungry coach, albeit one that's associated with
that doesn't
Swindon,
have a track
but he's
record
only
of
35
failure.
himself. He's only 35 himself.
But he has a
like,
track record
so,
of failure.
but let me finish. But that's the reason why, given his record so far, and the fact he's still young, he needs to ply his trade just as a coach for me. Until he's, because they made up this role for him last time. So I don't know how you go from having a made up role to come into arguably the second most important role in the football club. I I do think it's a lazy appointment. I think we've made that appointment because we don't want to spend any more money on more backroom staff. I don't know. I have no idea about this Dave Carney. I had a look at his record. Again, another young coach. But he's had a career that spanned 16 years, but only played 200 games in that 16 years, of which most of that looked like kind of the equivalent to non-league in some ways. So I just, I would like to understand the reasons why, but I think we all know the reasons why. Holloway will come out and say it's because he trusts Gunning.
Yeah.
It'll be because he was, and to be fair, I quite liked what he did last year of being up in the opposite and being able to look at the game from that angle. But he isn't going to do that this year because he's going to be the assistant manager. So, and like you said earlier, Fifey, I don't think he's the right man that if Holloway will get sent off at some point, or will get suspended, or will get ill, that he's the right man. I think if we wanted a statement of intent, because we know we're not going to get it through player sign-ins, I think we needed almost pretty much a whole shake-up of the
Yeah.
whole staff. And I mean that in a great. Steve Milton, great. He's been great for the club. He's done. He's been through thick and thin. We can't just forget the fact that he was pretty much working for free at one point, and things like that. But unfortunately, like you said, he's been a success. He's been in successive failure squad coaching staff. So I think if Ian Holloway was being serious, he probably should have looked at. Bignut was probably the last person to go out the door out of that coaching staff, in my opinion.
100%.
Don't get me wrong. If they're not agreeing with each other, then that's a different matter. But I think Bignut's experience was the one thing we actually needed the most out of all of the coaching staff we had available.
It's an interesting point. The one thing I would be keen to expand on, if we had the answers, which we don't, is if the reason Bignut's gone is a difference in football philosophy or whatever from Holloway. I would love to know exactly how deep that went, because surely, and Woody, perhaps your best position to answer this, surely what Holloway needs as much from anything else is someone to challenge him and say, have you considered this?
Yeah, I mean,
not just have yes men.
Yeah, healthy coaching staff is a disagreeing coaching staff. So it's, as you all know, I can guarantee you, me and Rich had 1-2s all quite often, in terms of things. But as long as the coaching staff understand that, Holloway is the last man to make the decision, he's the one that gets the blame when it goes wrong. But it's not necessarily about having, you can have a coaching staff that have the same philosophy, and you want to bring coaches in that follow your philosophy, because if you change philosophy, you divide the team. But they should be able to challenge in different areas. They should have different expertise. I don't really understand, and I can't remember where Dave Carney played when he was playing midfield and defence. So we've now got a goalkeeper and 2 defenders and Ian Holloway as our coaching staff. So we joked about Ollie Palmer. Where is our attacking enthusiasm coming from? Where is our attacking
Holloway loves
focus?
to attack.
That's where it's got to come from, isn't it?
But do we realistically, and I don't know what happened this year, maybe other people are more thing, but was Holloway actively doing that with the attackers this year? It didn't look like it when I watched games. But if he divides the coaching staff so that he actually has time to focus on that final third, that final phase of play, then that's fair enough. But I just don't see it. I don't see what Dave Carney is going to bring. I don't see what Gav Gunning is going to offer extra. It's just, I just don't understand it. But I think the only reason we've done it he's either got nudes on Clem, or we built that role for him. Like I said earlier, we built that role for him last year, which kind of materialized to nothing because none of those loan pathways have actually continued to stay. If I remember rightly, like pretty much all of the ones that went out on loan have now gone.
Yep.
Yeah. So what did that prove? So yeah, I think it's just one way. Gav Gunning has got something that says I need to stay at this club. I'm not going to conspiracy theory as to what that might be, but it does seem that we're just giving him a role every year. We're giving him a different role every year. So
It was a reach around on Ramsey Street.
Mm. The only thing I want, sorry, just to add to this, I wanted a pair of fresh eyes. I just wanted someone to come from the outside because we heard a lot. Look, I'm not into these rumours. I don't know enough about the football club. I'm not there on a day-to-day basis. But from what we got told last year, towards the end part of the season, training was a shit show. We're seeing an awful lot of injuries. Things were going wrong, and there's no one fresh in there now. It just feels like the two that were still there last season that were in the problems, Holloway, Milden, all Gunning, they're all still there. So unless they've got a completely mind change and they're going to do something completely different, I can't see how it's going to change. I can still see injuries come in, bad injuries. Although it's good to see that we've actually got a physio that looks quite promising. But I wanted a fresh pair of eyes, someone to come from the outside to come on in and say and maybe do the right thing, like you say, that if he knew Holloway well enough, no, Ian, this needs to be different. No, the standards need to be raised. This needs to be done. You know what I mean? This football club, and I know we're ranting on about this now, they fucking owe us this season, like this coming season, and I want everything to be lifted a level. Because from what I heard with like the training side of things, that's fucking embarrassing for me. Like that's one thing that you can get right. That's one thing that you can control. And that's where it is sort of grinding my gears that it wasn't like we didn't do things right. And no, fuck off. It needed to be done right. And yeah, sorry, I'm ranting on now. Sorry, but yeah.
You were asking about the attacking coaches. I believe what they've decided to do is allow one of the kit men to be the home attacking coach and the other one to be the away attacking coach.
Oh, fuck off, Ivy. Fuck's sake. That don't make me feel any better, mate.
But I mean, Wazza makes a good point though, and this isn't just all about the staff and and some of the players. We need better all over. I've just gone on because, funnily enough, I thought I'll have a look at this new, because I can't pronounce his name, this new physio. I've just gone on the website, and it drops it down. And I know we've lost the media guy. Well, we haven't lost we got rid of the media guy. Yeah, we got a new media guy. But either way, right? These are template websites, for example. Your website is your fountain of all knowledge, and we've still got players that left ages ago on there. We've still got Marcus Bignett on there. We've still got our physio that left about 3 years ago on there. And it's small things like that we just need to be better at. Like small things like that.
Set the standard.
Don't make changes. Women's development team is still on there. Things like that. You make a big announcements like they've been making. Fucking update the sources of information. Like it's not hard. It is not hard. These are template websites that are given that every team in the EFL has. It is not hard to update them. So I don't care whether you've got a media something. Your sources of information need to be right. Be better at that. If the training shit, don't blame it on the facilities. All right, Salford were training on a fucking park for the majority of their first 5 years in the EFL, and they were doing fine. So it's like it's just this. It kind of always just comes around to an excuse and it being somebody else's fault. And that I don't want any of that this year. Obviously, we've got the shenanigans of the Virtue Trophy, blah blah blah. I don't want any shit stuff this year. I don't want anything that we can avoid. We know we're going to get it because otherwise we wouldn't have a podcast worthy of recording. But I just don't want it. I want us to be run like a professional club for a little bit, and promoting your or loan pathways manager to assistant manager because you've got nobody else who you can afford. That's not a good start of doing it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm ill.
No, not at all. Not at all. Barry,
feel better?
let's get
Do you
this
feel
back
better
on track.
now?
Let's get this back on track, Barry.
Sorry.
February comes along. 3 away games, including Port Vale away, Colchester away on Valentine's weekend, because everyone loves going to Colchester, and Grimsby. In amongst those as well, Oldham at home, York at home.
Hang on, we did give Barry a chance. Barry, say fuck Gav Gunning, quick.
See, this is where it's really difficult for me, because the few times that I've met the guy, he's been absolutely spot on.
Oh, good.
So,
there we go.
Like, he ain't got a fucking clue what he's doing for his job, but he's a lovely bloke. I mean,
Mate, people I work with say I'm a lovely bloke, but they ain't going to make me CEO anytime soon.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, there is that, I suppose. But I mean,
to put that in a different context, Barry, I'm told near enough every other day people don't understand why I'm single, yet they don't help me not be single.
we do, but you just chose someone to hang around with that's having his stag do on a certain weekend.
Okay, I wonder where Barry was going with that then.
I was working my way around it. But yeah.
Sorry,
February.
fixtures, Barry, fixtures.
I've noticed
February,
something.
Barry.
I put my detective cap on here. February is pretty much identical to September.
Mm-hmm.
So at least when we fuck it up in September, we've got a chance to put it right in February.
yeah, and it's quite lazy as well, because I think January is very similar to October. I think
Holloway loves this as well, doesn't he? Like, if he gets beat by one thing, he'd be looking for the next fixture and going, "Oh, we owe them." Do you know?
Yeah,
I'm like,
or we were better than them this time.
yeah, we beat them this time. We beat them.
Joking apart, though, if you look at the fixtures wise, you've got, what are we on? 5. Yeah, 3 out of 5 of the games are the same teams, and you're also a month up the following month from a transfer window. So there is, if we fuck up the summer transfer and then fuck up the games in September, we've got the prime opportunity to fuck up January's transfer window and then fuck the games up in February. So that's an 8-pointer. Holloway will be loving it.
Woody, I mentioned in September that York away was a prelude to Salford away. How does Port Vale away leading up to Colchester away sound to you?
Oh God, yeah, that's a horrible week, that isn't it? So naturally, I'll probably be at both of those games.
Colchester and an evening one, is it? I ain't getting caught in no fucking roadworks on the M25 coming back again.
Port Vale is the evening one, isn't it?
Port Vale's the Tuesday game.
Good.
But my memories of Port Vale on a weeknight aren't that great. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know the sensibility around it. It'd be interesting. These are always the things I like to understand about a professional football club, is how they manage that. I genuinely would be interested, like how they manage, because you finish 11 o'clock. You can't really do much on the 10th of February because you know they have that rest and recovery. You then got 11th and 12th. They won't travel on the 13th. They'll travel on the 12th. So it's yeah, I was just always interested, but that's a horrible week for the away fans, isn't it? But that being said, with some of the stupid journeys I did this year, I suppose I'm not really one to comment.
Well, I'm just looking at it. Was Port Vale away, Colchester away, and Grimsby away in February. The Swindon fans will be covering some miles that month.
I fucking won't be. Yeah, no, that's just The Grimsby's that's just ridiculous. That's a lot, isn't it? But I suppose you just cherry pick out of the two. Out of the three, I'd probably say I'll probably be more inclined for the Colchester one. But
you're a glutton for punishment, and you.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know. I don't know. It's just that is tough, though, isn't it? They're tough away games, isn't they? Like Woody said, you forget the logistical side of things. It's a great point about the. You know what I mean? Blooming hell, I wouldn't want to see their hotel bill that month with those 3 trips. Do you know what I mean? I bet Clan's hating that month.
We won't pay it anyway. It's
we won't pay. He'll go. Lads, you get on the coach. You get on the coach.
Yeah. It's on a credit card that's probably got like a £1 million limit against one of his companies that's not been paid forever. So
Maybe they've had a say in the fixtures. Maybe he's thinking, God, we might have sold someone in January, so that would fund the hotel bill. So maybe that's why we've got all the. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we know someone in the fixtures, but yeah, tough fixtures on paper. Grimsby after last season, they're always going to want to put one over on Holloway. Tough. Port Vale, tough place to go anyway. Colchester, we have a shit record there. That's 3 very, very tough away games in that month. So it depends where we are and how we're doing. As you know what I mean, that is a month that if we're flying, then confidence is high. Brilliant. We could right some wrongs. But if we're struggling and the pressure is on, and we showed last year that we can't deal with that, those are 3 very, very tough away games.
Just looking at March, Woody, and on paper, again, obviously tough, but March actually looks like it could be fun. Northampton at home, Cheltenham away, Newport at home, Crawley away, Shrewsbury at home. Doesn't look a bad month, really.
What date is Cheltenham away?
13th of
13th
March.
of
God, that could be the Saturday after Cheltenham Festival, that is. So anyone doing Gold Cup, could it be? I don't know. It might not be. Cheltenham Festival might be the week after. But that's an interesting one, that is. God, Gold Cup day on the Friday and then little sleepover in. Oh, could be.
It's
Sorry.
amazing how these pods start to just turn into what we talk about after the show.
Yeah.
Cheltenham Festival, 16th to the 19th.
Oh, so it's the week after. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, so what that means is you go up for the football, you have a cheeky Sunday in the local area, and then the festival starts and off you go for the week.
Yeah, I get in that pass, mate.
You can sleep in the fan zone next to the portal.
I'll just go sleep at our Bishop's Cleeve depot where I was today, and it absolutely stunk because of the heat. Yeah, so like March is a lot friendlier travel wise, isn't it? You know, obviously we're at home, and you know, even if we were away, you've kind of got Northampton, Cheltenham, Newport. Crawley is a bit of a pig's ear sometimes, but actually in terms of the actual journey, is not actually that bad. So yeah, nice not to play Crawley away kind of in the middle of the winter. So yeah, again, Barry's alluded to it earlier as well, that we've got 3 quite big home games there that you know, Newport are going to be an interesting side this year because they seem to have been flirting with danger so much the last couple of seasons. And now, I don't know, it just feels like, are they going to do that again this season, or are they going to kind of strike back with a vengeance type thing?
Well, I know they're signing some fantastically named players at the moment.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be... again, but it's difficult, isn't it? Because we don't know our own transfer activity. So based on the current squad, you could argue that every fucking fixture is going to be difficult. But it's but I always fancy us at home against Northampton for some reason, so we'll probably lose that game. Cheltenham away, well, that's easy now. So yeah, it's March is all right.
I would speak to Barry, but he's disappeared. He's back.
Barry's back.
Barry, we just talk about the March fixtures. That's essentially the kickoff to the run-in. So as Woody just said, 3 big home games there, but winnable home games you would feel on paper. Again, we're talking without knowing what the squad will look like then. But it could be a real significant kickoff to that run-in.
It's going to... Sorry, I do apologise. The dogs have both started to start drinking, so if you can hear something rather random...
Yes, it's the dogs.
It's the... You can't really see, but there's hounds here. There. That's put me right off. It's going to be an interesting start. Like you say, it all does depend how we're set up and going and what's going around us. It's just the cliched snowball effect of how confidence starts with the team. if we start off shit, it's just going to be building up to a crescendo where by that point of the year, I think everyone will be ready to explode.
Yeah.
And we'll be calling for Holloway to go, calling for Clem not just to sell the club, but to fuck off to Mars. And yeah, I think you throw in the 2 of the 3 local derbies in there as well. That could, Cheltenham Newport's the make or break, I think, for the year by that point.
Let's focus then on the run-in, the April and final May fixtures. I'll start with you. It's nice that obviously that there will almost certainly be postponements that affect this, but the season does end kind of away, home, etc. Looking at the final fixtures into April and May, Exeter, Crewe, Accrington and Chesterfield are the away games, Fleetwood, Salford, Rochdale, before concluding the season. Again, we finished the season at home, like we did last season, this time to Gillingham.
Yeah, toughie. I that won't be an easy one, especially like you say, we're hypothetically where are we going to be in the league? What we're going to be like. The Pikeys will always want to try and put one over on us, won't they? Gillingham, they'll want to spoil the party, so say, or I can see them probably being up there. I do like Gareth Ainsworth, and I think he's had a season to feel him out now and sort of see where he wants him to be and where he needs to be. And I can see them being probably a decent force. So it could be a top of the table clash or up that way, definitely. So yeah, I don't know. It's another team that could come and spoil the party. Let's put it that way.
Okay, Barry, what's your thoughts on how the season ends?
We'll be crowned champions on the 17th of April against Salford. And we can fuck May off and not worry about it.
Fantastic.
What are you drunk tonight, Barry?
It's a rattler.
Yeah, okay. Get that checked for you.
Yeah. I have very little confidence, put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Woody, are you any more confident?
Well, I think you never really want, although it is always nice to have a game, something to play for in the last game, you never really want a game where if it doesn't mean something to the other team, they're still going to be up for it. Like said, Gillingham is still a team that's going to be up for it regardless of where their league position is. So, I mean, I don't think Gillingham will be the force they were this year, personally. I think Gareth Ainsworth is a good gaffer, but I don't see it happening this year for him. But but even before that, Chesterfield away, those 2 games, the May games are horrible games to finish the season off with, to be fair. And I do worry, based on, again, we're only basing this on what we know of the clubs at the moment and what we saw last season. I do worry that if it goes down to those last 2 games of the season, they're not typically fixtures you want to play in. That being said, let's go with Barry and let's win. But let's win the league when we're away to Accrington Stanley the week after Salford instead, because we won't win it at home. We just know if we're going to win the league, we would not win the league at home. It will always happen away. So yeah, and it will happen at a tin pot ground like Accrington Stanley's.
Who are they?
Just deviating away slightly for the amusement of tonight's panel as much as anything. As it stands, although there's still room for it to change, as it stands, Scotland have fallen out of the top 8 of the third place.
Oh, they ain't getting back in it. There's no way. Oh yeah, because Senegal have had a massive win, haven't they? Beat Iraq by 5 goals, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that? Are they on to 4 points? Is that Senegal?
No,
or
they'll put them on 3. Put them on 3 points, but on a positive goal difference.
Oh yeah, put the plane home. They're done.
Let's deviate slightly to the cup competitions before we talk about the World Cup. Woody, I know what a big fan you are, so let's let you discuss the Virtue Trophy, Newport County, Plymouth Argyle, and then our Premier League under 20. Is it under 21s or under 23 team? Crystal Palace this year.
Decent.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal Palace won't be mugs, will they? I think I don't even know how they've got on previously, but I think if you just look at the history of Crystal Palace's kind of youth setups and the players that come through, they're going to be decent. Plymouth, when do we find out if that's the home or away tie? Because do we play them twice? I can't remember if we play them. We don't play them
No.
twice in the virtue.
No,
do we?
you're only playing once.
And then who did you say was the other one?
Newport.
Newport. Knowing our luck, that will be the home game, and Plymouth will be the away game. So Plymouth away on a Tuesday night.
Rich has already put in a request with the EFL that Newport away on a Tuesday night for the Virtue Trophy.
Yeah, well, obviously Rich has little to zero influence on pretty much
Yeah,
anything.
so it'd be definitely the other way. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's difficult, isn't it? Because you're right, Fifey. I don't mind the competition. I quite like the competition. I don't have an issue with the under 23 teams being in it. But it's hard to kind of, because of last season, it's hard to get massively infused about it. Because, well, obviously we know what happened, but yeah, so it isn't on my big priority list this year. Although sometimes those games are typically some of the better games that Swindon play. But if it's Newport at home, I might go, but Plymouth away, I very much doubt I'm going all that way for a Virtue Trophy game. So yeah, it's probably not. Last year I was, because I've always said the Virtue Trophy is in my opinion, our best opportunity to get to Wembley. And I think we always have a better chance of getting to Wembley through the Virtue Trophy than we do via the playoffs. So it's, but this year it won't be one of my focus, because I almost, as much as I contradict myself of what I've probably said the last 5 years, I do want our sole focus to be just this, get out of this fucking division. I'm bored of looking at the same fixtures every year. So yeah, I think if he's using the congested fixture list as a problem last year, then so be it. Recruit what you need, play a slightly weaker side in the Virtue Trophy, go against my my own philosophy a little bit. But I think that's probably more. If last year didn't happen, I'd be a totally different opinion.
Okay. Well, you said that you weren't overly enthused by it because of those factors. Let's see if Barry's any more enthused by a repeat of playing Cardiff away in the Carabao Cup.
Yes, very much so. It's my birthday.
Yes.
So a trip to my island for the day and then watch the football.
Great shout. Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed Cardiff last year. I mean, 2 people didn't. They had a bit of a shock, but I'm not sure if they'll still be there this year.
From what I understand, there was a couple of 100 people had a shock because Prince Abachaman put in a world-class performance that day.
Well, I don't think Mr. Tickle reached that far, but yeah, Prince was all right on the night as well. As long as it's not quite so warm. I remember that being quite warm in that ground, and the sun was a bit of a pain in the backside, if I remember rightly.
Just please hold a minute whilst Wozza gives us a bit of a 1970s Five Flash.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even realise. Yeah, sorry.
Painting like one of those French girls.
Oh, I was like a real scratch, and I was just like, yeah, sorry. Oh, God, I didn't even realise on my phone camera, and it's obviously like that, yeah. And I've got a bit of cramp as well. Sorry.
No. Was the guys have spoken briefly about the cup competitions there. Obviously, the FA Cup is the most infamous one. We won't know that until mid-October, ready for November. But how do you feel about going on a cup run this year?
Only priority I've got is trying to get out of this league. If there's one, I love the magic of the FA Cup. Carabao Cup doesn't really bother me, and I've gotten absolutely. If I did have a minuscule bit of interest in the Virtue Trophy last year, I do not have any this year after the way that we've got treated through that. Absolute shit show. Couldn't give a fuck. Play the youth team, take the fines or whatever you get, because that's probably why we'll probably end up playing full strength anyway. But yeah, I couldn't give it. Like I understand Woody's point. I am actually quite intrigued by Palace, the thing, because I actually really like the way that Palace do things with the youth team. So that would be my only thing, especially with the Palace game, with it being at home, because we play them at home. I probably will go and watch it because I would quite enjoy to see Palace youth team and see potential talents and stuff like that. But in the competition itself, I've got literally no interest. The only one I would like is the FA Cup run. But like Woody said, and this is until we get out of this league, I've just got absolutely no thing of any cup competition because our sole priority and number one is got to be competing in this league, challenging in this league, and getting out of this league. And that's the only thing for me that matters.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to speak about regarding the fixtures as they are? No? Okay. Well, let's turn our attention then to matters tomorrow. And it is not only is it the Fool's Night Out, but it is also England's third and final group game in the World Cup as they play Panama, who I believe, and I haven't fact-checked this myself, just something I read, the only nation yet to score in this year's competition.
Oh.
So we know what's happening there, don't we? Was mentioned earlier, Woody. It was a disappointing, some might say, frustrating is another word that got used. It wasn't a performance in keeping with the first game, at least against Ghana, but some people did predict that Ghana was going to be the more difficult game in the group, so maybe It wasn't a surprise. For me, I've said to people, although I was very frustrated by it, I'm hoping the draw with Ghana does for us what Spain's draw with Cape Verde did for them, and is that sort of reality check wake-up call. What's your take? Are you expecting an attitude stroke approach change tomorrow, given what happened the other night?
Well, we need a good win, in my opinion. I know Panama haven't, and not the whipping team that they were last World Cup. But I still think that we were genuinely so bad against Ghana. I know they set up well, they defended well, but they were Ghana at the end of the day. If we want to put ourselves in that conversation with, real contenders for this World Cup, we should be breaking those teams down. That is the difference between when you look at the shock results that have happened this World Cup, and they do happen. But the problem is these type of results aren't shock results for England. These are the same issues that we've had year on year on year on year. When we come up against a block, we struggle.
So
hang on, I've got this question as well. So, but you wouldn't have Spain then as favourites now because they drew with Cape Verde?
No, I didn't have Spain.
Let me flip that, because I was going to ask the same question. So this will be to both of you on that same basis. The only difference between England drew with a better nation in terms, you would say Ghana were better than Cape Verde.
100%.
But the difference was Spain did carve them open. It's just the Cape Verde keeper had the game of his life.
Yeah. I can see it from
that game.
I could see it from both angles, but it still, black and white. It was still a point. Like Spain didn't win that game. I understand that they created a lot more, but Spain are always going to do that. It's the Spanish are that they're probably if you look at the tournament as a whole, probably the best possession-based team in the tournament for me, Spain. I think the rest are very. You look at the likes of us and France are good, but they've got that pace to burn, so they could be a very good transition team. Whereas if you look at Spain, technically, I see them being one of the best possession-based sides. I was definitely one of the.
That's Tuchel's style. So surely England are one of the better.
Yeah, but I think sometimes this is what I quite like about Tuchel is that you've got to play with what you've got. And if you haven't got those players that
as well.
Yeah, but if you haven't got those players to go with the possession-based thing, you've got to find another way. And I think England are very much a transition side with the pacey wingers. I know there's a lot to be said about the wingers at the moment and what's going on in the competition.
Madueke is fucking shite.
We're 2 games into this tournament. We've got 4 points, very much still in our own hands to get out the group. The bigger test are to come. I always said that I felt that Ghana was going to be the toughest one in our group, and I stand by that. I rate Carlos Queiroz. He is a very, very experienced bloke that knows how to set a team up defensively. Like that is just what he does. That's his mantra. That's how he did it with Iran. That's how he's going to do it with Ghana. And he's probably got a better opportunity to do it with Ghana because the potential that he's got on the break with the likes of Semenyo and other players that are pacey and stuff like that. He's a very, very good coach. That people forget that he was with Fergie, a very trusted member of Sir Alex Ferguson's. You know what I mean? As a coach, that is what he's about. Was always going to be the toughest game for me. Don't get me wrong. I totally agree with Woody. I don't, and what you boys said about Panama. I don't see them being the whipping boys of what they were a few years ago. From what you hear, they're still been very much in games, and they gave Ghana a very good game as well. So and they got beat in the last
Well, I
minute.
think both Croatia and Ghana only beat them 1-0.
Exactly. So I don't have it being an easy game for England tomorrow. Definitely not. And they would have seen what Ghana have done, and they probably will go, well, to get a result. This is probably how we're going to have to set up, and it's whether we're good enough and have learned our lesson from Tuesday night to how we're going to improve. That's why I do see changes. I do see, you know what I mean, Tuchel trying to learn from his errors and stuff like that from how we're going to set up. So, yeah, I don't know, but there's definitely no panic stations for me. I'm still very much to the point that I see England going far into this competition, and nothing has swayed me. If anything, I looked at that Croatia performance and looked and thought, you know what I mean, the first half wasn't the greatest, don't get me wrong, but I haven't seen, and sorry, I haven't been on since we talked Croatia, so sorry if I backtrack. I've not seen an England team attack like I did from that 45th to 65th, 70th minute. I've not seen that. I thought the relentless pressure and the chances that we created and the way that Croatian Lankovic kept them in the game. I've not seen England attack like that, and this
And
has
while
got
I
to be down
agree-
to this has got to be down to Tuchel and put in. Yeah,
Okay.
that's for
Right,
me.
so that's two. Oh, go on, Woody. That's two.
Well, I was-
Yeah, sorry, I
I
jumped
was
in. Sorry.
No, that's fine. The only thing I was going to say on that, right? I would argue that although obviously the only stat that matters is the scoreline, with the exception of maybe Harry Kane's miss, Ghana probably had the better chances.
Correct.
Realistically, they should have had 2 penalties.
Correct.
So my concern is, and this is what I was trying to say in the chat the other day, is if good teams can do both. Good teams can transition to a low block and then break out into an attack, which is why Italy did us over a couple of years ago, or whenever it was, a few years ago. So my concern is that we couldn't break down. And then, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not giving Ghana the credit they deserve. I mean, I look at their results leading into the World Cup. Drew 1-1 with Wales, lost 2-0 to Mexico, lost 2-1 to Germany, lost 5-1 to Austria, lost 1-0 to South Korea, lost 2-0 to Japan. You know, they had no momentum going into this World Cup pretty much. So when I see us genuinely, and I don't know if this is a Tuchel thing. It's a Tuchel thing for me because I felt the problem was he didn't recognise that players weren't playing very well and were struggling. You know, like I say, and I don't want Madueke to be the scapegoat, if you like, but he was he was genuinely really poor. He was genuinely really, really poor. He couldn't break down the gate. He couldn't break down that block. He couldn't take on a defender, you know. And then what happened was their best player, which was their right back, was giving Anthony Gordon a hard time, and everybody slates Gordon. And it's like, what I don't understand is this contradiction that because Madueke plays for allegedly the best team in England, that he gets this automatic protection, similar arguably to what Saka sometimes maybe gets. But I know Saka's slightly injured or whatever. I don't know what's going on with him. I just think that I question why we're not starting him and then bringing him off rather than bringing him on for somebody who's already fucked. But it's So that's my concern, is that we drew 0-0 because we couldn't break down a good defense, against a defense that isn't even in the top 50 defense in the world. You know, we couldn't break that down. And it's like I say, although I'd argue, I think I argued back, somebody said about Southgate's final World Cup. We scored a lot of goals in Southgate's final World Cup. We did score quite a lot of goals. And it's kind of like one thing that we did do is we had that confidence that our attack were going to do something. I had no confidence in our attack on whatever day we played Ghana. I had absolutely no confidence, and that was disappointing given how good and relentless our attack showed, like Wazza said, against Croatia. How good it was against Croatia. It concerned me that that we didn't have that same relentlessness going into the Ghana game, which, let's argue, we're going into Panama pretty much knowing we're through. Well, we are through, and we're through. That concerns me that we're now going in knowing we're through. We might not have a very good game. It might be a bit of a stalemate, and we lose that momentum. And for me, I know it's tournament football, but momentum brings so much. This is why Argentina did so well. This is why, you know, teams like that, they get that momentum as they go into the knockout stages. We have lost all of that momentum that we had against Croatia because we drew 0-0 with Ghana, in my opinion. I hope I'm proven wrong tomorrow and we win 6-7-0 or whatever. If that happens, then I'll be jumping back on that bus again. But I worry when we don't score, when our biggest points are in our attack.
Building off the back of what you said there, I think it's important for me to say I was accepting no additional Southgate slander for being negative and defensive that people like to label him with, when the man who's been told to me is a tactical genius, has a winning mentality, couldn't even create chances against Ghana, with all due respect to Ghana. Like, if we'd created, I would feel different about it, but we didn't. The fact that there was an obvious weak link in the chain, and I understand Woody's perspective, but I'm calling it out. Madueke's been our worst player for 2 games. The only possible exception you can have to that is Reece James. But Tuchel, one, doesn't recognise that Madueke's shit, and he decided the best thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move him to the other side. And 2, he has this relentless urge to play players that he used to manage. That's why Reece James kept getting a pass. That's why Madueke's getting a pass. That's why Chalobah's been called up for no reason whatsoever. And that's what concerns me more than anything. I think there will be changes tomorrow. I think there has to be changes tomorrow. Some will be to rest, but Kane's still going to start. Bellingham's probably still going to start because he'll want to get the result in the bag by half-time and then make the subs, I imagine. But for me, Tuesday night was actually unacceptable because, in all essence, if we could put cards on the table, as Woody was alluding to, we should have lost. It's not even like we've drawn a game that we were poor in. We should have lost. They should have had 2 goals. We should have had 2 red cards, and we'd be having an entirely different conversation here. Our tournament could be in disastrous situation. You know, we could be talking that we're in the same situation as Scotland going into the Panama game. But we got fortunate. We got very, very lucky. But have we used all our luck in the one game? Is the question. Barry, what's your take on tomorrow, Barry, based on what you've seen so far?
My take on for tomorrow is it'll be a lot more of a positive game, but at the same time, you look at Ghana, they had every man behind the ball. You've got Rice, who's running a little niggle, so they keep saying. You've got Saka, that's got a niggle still. There was somebody else who, for the love of God, I can't remember who it was.
Well, I think Reece James is now out for tomorrow, isn't he? I think he's actually confirmed as injured. Yeah. Shock.
But what's the point going balls to the wall against Ghana? At the end of the day, it's a long competition.
Yeah,
everyone
even longer.
But have we lost? But like Woody said, we've now lost all the momentum from Croatia.
We didn't lose. It's not. There's a dip. We haven't come up against a brick wall. You look, bar a 5-1 for Ghana, they've defended quite well. It's been 1 or 2-0 or draws for the last almost a year of all their games. So it's not a surprise that they're a team that's set up to defend.
Carlos Queiroz is new in the job. He's not. I'm not saying that maybe he was there for all those warm-up games, but I know he's quite recent into the job. And I'm with
Okay,
Barry. I do disagree with you two. I don't think the momentum stopped at all. I really don't. I just can't. I can't
also
have.
different game.
No, but I don't think the camp will see it like that. I don't. I think they'll look.
You wanted to punch everybody at halftime.
I just, it was just completely. Let's put it this way: that we've never been good, and one thing I took away from what Woody said, we've never been good at this taking on teams with low block. But you're telling me that if we get through and we play the likes of Mexico and Brazil and stuff like that, that they're going to sit in a low block and go against us. There's no chance. There's no chance in hell that they're going to go, oh, we're going to give England the same respect that what Ghana did, and we're going to sit 11 men behind the ball, and we'll try and pick them off. There's no chance.
Okay,
So then
here's where I have an issue with
that automatically makes it better for us. Automatically.
So this is where I have an issue, and someone else raised this in a different podcast, and I thought it was a stunning point. The amount of English fans and pundits and everything else that are saying we won't come up against another Ghana. The other teams will want to play football. Right, so what we're saying is, give us a France, a Spain, and Argentina. Suddenly we're going to dick them 4-0 because they want to play football.
No, that's not what... Come on now, that's not what I'm saying, is it? It's not what I'm saying.
There's arrogance that teams that play football are easier to
arrogance. There's no arrogance in what I've just said. There's no arrogance. I'm just
that play
saying...
football, we're going to play better against.
No, teams that are going to try and sort of attack us, yeah.
How did that go against Spain 2 years ago?
And France.
How did that go against France in the tournament before that?
Very much still in the game, the Spanish one, won't be very much so.
Lost is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, in the cold hard black and white facts, yes we did, but very much still in the game.
Playing football doesn't work for us either.
No, I can see how you're playing this, but for me, I've not seen any reason of why there'll be no panic in that camp for me. There'll be absolutely no panic. They've looked at that and they've gone, well, it is what it is. On another day, the O'Reilly header goes in, Kane's chance goes in. We walk away from that 1-0. We all slate the performance going, it wasn't good enough, but we got 6 points on the board. I'm quite happy that tomorrow is still going to have to be, and I said this to you earlier, that I'm still happy that there's something on it. Because I think you have dead rubber games in this competition. That's where you can lose it because you make wholesale changes like what Norway did tonight. I can't see how that has benefited Norway tonight, what they've done. They've gone up against France where they were 6 points to 6 points with France, had a chance to top the group, and they make 10 changes. That's horrendous for me. And then get pumped by France. And I just don't see the benefit to that.
Despite being pumped, they actually still played well. Norway played better, making 10 changes and getting dicked by France than we did with a full-strength team against Ghana.
Didn't sit 11 men behind the ball, though, did they?
But they lost, and we didn't
That's
lose.
your biggest issue?
Yeah, massively.
Is that a team defended?
We've
By the way, we've got what people describe as the greatest natural finisher in the world today and the second coming of Jesus in an attacking midfielder, and we couldn't create one chance.
We did create one chance, and Kane didn't finish it.
Yeah, the best natural finisher in the world.
Well, we'll let him have the one. I'd rather him miss that one and not the one in the last 16 or the last 32 or whatever. The one that we really need him. The one.
I'd rather he was in position to actually have more than one chance. He had a tolerance of missing.
Yeah, but that's got to come from the service. Harry Kane is a service. He doesn't pick up the ball from deep and drive with it and create his own chance. He needs the service. The service wasn't there, and I understand your point on Madueke and Gordon. For me, not good enough. I think they're looking after Saka, which I got no problem with. If they don't feel Saka's ready yet,
when it's not working.
I'd rather see Saka in the last 16 and last 32 than I would seeing him against Ghana and Panama.
32 is not a question because we're there. But what happens if we come against you? I don't know how the draw works at the minute. I've not looked that far into it. What if we come up against, say, it won't be a Mexico, but let's say Japan. Japan, who's already beaten us recently. Let's not forget.
So on paper, if we top the group tomorrow, at this present moment, we play Ecuador in the last 32. And then if we win that, we go up against, most likely will be Mexico.
Ecuador, a team that will put a block up against us.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do it. They didn't do it against Germany. Let's put it that way.
They had to win.
Well, they'll have to win against us, won't they?
No, they can block us out and beat us on penalties.
Yeah, but either way, if I was looking at a way to beat England, you put a block in against them. It's what Italy did. It's what
and we've
France did.
got to fight. Let's not think. I'm sure this is going to come tomorrow. I think Panama will put a block up, and if we're going to talk about what the way that we go about that, I think you being one of the wingers. I've loved hearing from it was Simon Jordan on Talksport, or someone said about I would play Rodgers off the left tomorrow. I think when you come up against this block, you need people with a bit of guile. Sometimes running down the wing or being direct doesn't work because the space isn't there. You need proper technical footballers. And I would then see that I would bring in someone like a Morgan Rodgers off the left that could come into the middle and play as that extra man and create an overload in there. So it gives him the opportunity to link with Bellingham. I would love to see Saka start tomorrow, I really would, because I agree with Woody's point. Madueke's not been good, but Madueke's benefit for me would be with 20 minutes to go, he's frightening. He's got pace to burn. And
But
we've
he
said
can't
that
pass, can't cross, and can't shoot.
But
with 20 minutes to go against a tiring defence, I don't mind seeing him come on. I totally agree he's not good enough to start for me, but the only reason he's starting at the moment is because Saka is not fully fit. So they're looking after Saka, which is no problem with that. But tomorrow I'd like to see a bit more guile. I'd like to see someone like a Morgan Rodgers maybe come in and play off the left. And then you have that one direct winger and then have one that's popping in into the middle to try and create those overloads. That's what I would like to see tomorrow, because I don't think there'll be that many changes. But
there's still, sorry, and Woody, I'm sorry, I know you wanted to come in. There's still 2 points, one for each of Barry and Woz, that I want to come in on.
Come on, then.
At this point, I'm playing devil's advocate. You realise this, because I am very much still, England have enough about them to win this World Cup.
100%. I know you're just doing it to rile me up. I know what you're doing. Yeah, I get it.
The points that are raised, and Barry, I'll come to yours first. I can't remember the exact wording you used, but you mentioned the nature of the win that we're aiming for tomorrow. If England rock up, play like they did against Ghana, and win 1-0, are we saying at least England won, happy days, we've been shit for 2 games, but it's fine, we've got 7 points, qualified as top? Or does it have to be a 4-5-6 against the team that I think Woody said earlier hasn't really been conceding, hasn't really been whipping boys? But do we have to go out and get a 4-5-6 to kind of put that marker back down again?
At the end of the day, as long as we win, it really doesn't. It's really bad for conversation, but it really doesn't fucking matter. We just
Barry,
get through to the next round. That's all that matters. All that matters. It doesn't matter how they do it. If they go and Rich won't like it, come and do a caution and rob a game at the last minute. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Get through the group stage, and then it's on. And then it's one game after another, another. Doesn't matter what happened in the game before. It doesn't matter. It's that whole England thing that everyone's got the entitled opinion that we're England. We must win everything. We have to win it by 3 or 4 goals.
We must win. It's a games that we feel we should be winning. Games that other nations who have our belief would win.
They don't win them though, do they? They don't win them.
How you word it.
They don't win them. There's been a lot of shocks, isn't there? They don't win them. They don't always win them. I'm sorry. Spain's draw was the massive shot.
I agree. Spain's draw was a phenomenon that no one can understand how it's happened. But on the flip side, France have gone and won 3 out of 3.
Massive. Like for me at the start, I questioned the French. They look, for me, unstoppable.
I disagree. France look completely stoppable.
France front four is frightening.
Argentina, for me, have been the best nation so far.
I don't know.
But there was another point of yours I wanted to make, and you kind of made 2 references to it. You said you can. I can't remember the exact wording, so I'm going back a little bit now. But you mentioned that Tuchel can only play with what he's got, And then in the last segment, you said how sometimes you need players with a bit of guile. And while I agree that they didn't deserve to go, what you're saying is he's made a mistake by not bringing the Cole Palmers, the Phil Fodens, because they're the players that can do the job that seemingly none of our other world beaters can do.
Those two are not even in my hindsight. They don't even, for me. The one mistake he made was Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yep, I agree.
That's the one. He would be the one tomorrow that if I look at that, I'd actually say to him, he would be the one that I'd be going tomorrow. Chuck him and play him off the left. Because he's done it for Forest and he picks up clever. That's the one. Like, I love his calls with Foden and Palmer. Not been good enough this year. Miles off it.
But you can't sit there and say we need players with guile.
No, but we've got players with guile. We've got players with guile. They're there. They're right there.
Okay, who are our top 3 guile players?
If you look at it on Bellingham, Morgan Rogers, and if anything, that would be the 3 that I would play behind Kane tomorrow: Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka.
Right, so Saka, who's not fit, Bellingham, who did
I'm
play.
quite shocked considering he was our best player on against Ghana. I'm quite shocked that Rashford's not come into any of this conversation.
Yeah,
because he's the direct winger, so he's the same as Anthony Gordon. So apparently that's no good against the low block.
And whilst I'm saying this is where I'm no way at panic stations, but I don't think that just because they drew 0-0, we should look at it and be just accepting of the result and the accepting of the performance. Yeah, we've got a draw, a 0-0 draw, but this is why my concern, my only concern rather than panic, is the fact that we played inverted wingers against a low block, which doesn't work because you can't create an overload with 5 in midfield. So you create. There was no coincidence that the moment he switched Madueke out to the left, straight away he beats a man and gets the ball into the box because we stretched their midfield and their back 4. So if we're playing against a block, which I don't think Panama will, they've played 3-4-3 the last few games they've played. So I don't know if they will, because they got nothing. Because they are going home, and they're out.
Yeah, this might be a game where they'll have a go. Yeah,
they got nothing to lose. So I would probably expect them to go 3-4-3. I'm sure that's what I've looked up over. Stand to be correct.
Yeah, it's a very good point. That very good point.
But if they are opening like that, but if you're playing against a low block, for me, you spread the play wider so that you can push players through the middle rather than trying to force an inverted winger inside. And that's the concern for me because it worked against Croatia when we did it. So one of the reasons Croatia worked so well was he switched Declan Rice out to the left-hand side, and Declan was making that space in the middle for Anderson to run around into, with Rice coming out a little bit wider and pushing our forwards on. So he spotted it against Croatia. That's how we broke down Croatia. But then what concerned me is he didn't spot it against Ghana. And what concerned me even more was I think the assistant coming out at half-time. I can't remember what he said, but I just remember going, well, why have you played like that then?
The first game he was really angry. The second game he said it's kind of gone how we expected. We just need to be patient.
We just need to be patient, yeah. And
didn't he actually say though they didn't expect Ghana to sit in like they did? They expected a lot more from Ghana, to be honest with him. That's what everyone
should play football against England to make it easier for us.
Well, no, not to make it easier, but it's all about like. Croatia knew there's no way that Croatia, and where I get what Woody said, and I liked the idea with the Declan Rice thing, at the end of the day, there was still that many people behind the ball against Ghana that it was always going to be just one of them. This is where I do agree with that the performance wasn't good enough. In the first half, when you play against that low block, you just need to find a way to get a goal early, don't you? Because then that has to draw them out. It just makes things a lot easier. And as longer as the game goes on, Ghana were there for a point. They knew this is the only thing with this format.
Ghana were the only team looking to win that game.
No, that is absolute rubbish. They were there for a draw. They were there for a draw to get to 4 points, to knew that even if they finish third in the group, they can go into that Croatia game tomorrow knowing that they're on 4 points. And even if they lose, they're going through as worst case scenario, third place team.
Let me paint you an alternative view, Wazza. They had a game plan that they knew would work against the opposition, and they had 2 golden opportunities to win the game that the referees actually cost them.
Well, the referees obviously didn't think of much because VAR didn't even want to look at any of them. So
Let's move on to another area of the pitch, Barry, because there's three of us heavily involved here, and you're just sat calmly listening to it all. Jed Spence got to start. He was another one that was highly criticised, which I thought was slightly unfair, given that he was played on his non-natural side because Reece James has to play. Similar to what Reece James is a waste of space. Similar to what Woody was saying about the wingers, though, all the England defenders were just pushing up and taking the space. Would it make more sense for him to play on his more natural right side and have an actual left-footed player to offer that width? I know Nico Riley's not a left back, but he has been playing left Man City. Maybe it would have been a good idea to take an actual left back in the squad. But tactical masterclass and all that.
Pass. I honestly don't have an answer for that one. Brutally honest. I don't really follow any of the Premiership teams, so I don't know that much about half of them. I was just quite enjoying listening to you lot go at each other. It was good fun.
So our mutual friend John's just texted me because he didn't even realise we were on, and I said we're on now, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'll put you on now."
Wow,
he sent me a compliment about Was, but it's got nothing to do with his performance on Fools tonight. It's his performance in his day job that he's praised.
Oh, good from John. Yeah, good from John. Class.
So this is what I've had from John so far. Was by far the best person I've seen live on the phone this week, selling tyres twice. I've been in the office and he could sell ice to the Eskimos. And then he's proceeded to really piss me off further by saying Henderson starts tomorrow. It could be the worst possible decision.
I can't wait to watch an England game with you with
Henderson.
Henderson.
Is 100% starting tomorrow, by the way.
Firmly getting a Tuchel out if Henderson starts any game this tournament.
He is starting tomorrow because they're going to rest.
Ivy, remember tomorrow you're watching the game with my son Theo, so you're going to have to just sort of rein it in a little, you know?
I'm not reining it in at all. If Jordan Henderson starts tomorrow, bring on third place.
Not the C-bomb, though. All right? Any other word but that?
I don't use it.
Good. Yeah, fair enough.
Everything else is all right. Theo's been sat next to me all season.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that, actually. Yeah.
But it's. I feel that all the positives there are about Tuchel, and there were a lot of positives apparently about what he did at halftime at Croatia. The same as what Woody was saying about momentum for the team. Any brownie points Tuchel had, he's lost for me in the Ghana game by just being unreactive, making completely the wrong decisions, and just not doing anything to positively impact on the game.
Still confident though, isn't ya?
I will remain on record. This England team is capable of winning the World Cup.
Yes. Better.
I'm not saying that it's coming home.
You will tomorrow after a few.
So would Ghana if there was a massive case of food poisoning.
Yeah.
Or
VAR didn't have a coffee break like Carlos Queiroz said.
This is open to anyone, but Barry, I'll stick with you.
Come on, Barry.
Perhaps my one actual concern about England, because in all essence, the guys are right. We are unbeaten. We come up against a decent side who were playing negative football and we couldn't deal with it, but we still got a draw.
Played for the draw.
Yeah, we played for the draw. That's right, it was. My one concern is the inability of this England squad as a whole, and I'm not blaming any individuals. This just comes as the collective, to learn from our mistakes, because they're not the same team. But the last time we came up against an African nation, they did a number on us. They actually got the result that day. That was Senegal. That wasn't that long ago. And once again, we've struggled against a team from Africa. So there's something that we've not quite got about how to come up against these sides. We've just not learned the lessons. Do you think we'll learn the lessons of tournament football quick enough? Because the majority of this squad have been together long enough to avoid more slip-ups along the way.
You can't pass this question, Barry.
Not really, can you? I don't think we're ever going to learn tournament football, to be honest. They just don't. We've got a team made up of great players that do not work together. It's like trying to get a number one chart hit with Dolly Parton and the fucking King of Rock, not rock, Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, both great in their own fields. Put them together, it's going to be fucking awful. Which half the time is what the England football team turns out at. You'd buy that, wouldn't you, Woody?
100%.
Thought
I was
you
just
would.
trying to think. Might have to put that in AI later.
It's true though. Like they never work.
Set this year.
John says he's having issues going in the comments on YouTube, so he's texted me and said France break that Ghana side down, which is worrying. Senegal in the next game will go to extra time.
There's no predictive text on YouTube, is there? Stumps him.
I was concerned that we've not had a comment for, well, just over an hour.
Everyone's gone.
It's true. Everyone's like,
boring
no.
everybody.
There's still plenty of people watching. They're just engrossed because they've not seen Woz have to go on a full defensive on Fools before. Speaking of defensive, Woz,
Yeah.
everyone after the first game, myself included, said,
Oh,
John
that
Stones
voice.
cannot play.
That voice. That.
John Stones cannot play. Mark Gahey has to play. So, for context, after the first game, I put a voice note in the Fools WhatsApp chat about my thoughts on John Stones' performance that apparently was that funny. Was that asked me to find said voice note and send it to him again so he could keep it for his own amusement.
It was just fucking genius.
But what's actually happened here is Stones gets pulled out the squad, the one that everyone wants Mark Gahey gets put in, and England get worse at defending.
So, my argument with the Ghana game was that I can see why they took Stones out, because they felt like it was going to be more transition, pace, legs. But the downside to that was that Stones is our best ball playing centre half. So when you needed someone maybe to carry the ball from defence and create that extra man or find that pass through the channels or into the second, third, or up to the top end of the pitch, we lost that with Stones. For me, I like John Stones, I always have, but for me, Concert and Gahey are the two. I like them both. I think they've both got, especially later into the tournament, if we touch wood, we get there, coming up against pacey, tricky, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. We're going to need that athleticism, and we're going to need that. And Gahey and Konsa are the two for me. That I just, if they stay fit, they start. I understand the Stones option, and I get it, but I've got no problem with Gahey and Konsa. They're the two best centre halves in England for me, picked on merit and performances, and those two are the ones.
Woody, we're naturally dissecting England's performance looking ahead to tomorrow. Are we overlooking Panama at all?
I mean, it'd probably be dangerous too, because let's not forget that we probably all realistically, regardless of it being a tricky tie, most of us probably went into Ghana thinking that we were going to win that game. Even with it being a tricky tie, I think a lot were expecting kind of a, maybe even a smash and grab for us type thing. I think, as Wazza and I kind of already alluded to, if they do come at us because they got nothing to lose, that could be dangerous for them. But I don't, bless their hearts, I don't think they're going to care. I don't. They'll have a little bit of dignity on the line. Like
They'll
you
want
said,
their goal.
Yeah, they'll want their goal. The one plus, despite one of them probably shouldn't have even been on the pitch at the end of the game, we did keep a clean sheet with those two at the back. So yeah, I think I don't want to sound arrogant, but Panama in the nicest way don't really concern me at this point. I don't think we're going to whip them 7 whatever. What was the result last time we played them? 6-0, 7-0?
6, I think.
6-0. I think it'll be that again? No, because they were very much kind of virgins to the World Cup at that stage. Now they've, I think they they played in the continental
Copper.
equivalent Copper as
Copper.
well. Yeah. So they played.
They've
I think they
definitely
played.
improved. They've definitely improved as a nation, and that's all you want to see as a small nation, that they've shown, and they definitely have. And I don't
Yeah.
think they'll be the whipping boys. I totally agree with you there. I don't think they will be.
But
We
I do
improve.
think we should have too much. And actually, to be fair, if he does make changes, because we are already through, if he does make changes, I'd like to think that those changes will be positive ones that will. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Rashford start. Who I would love to see him start. I think Kane will start because he's the captain. I do think Hendo will start because I think
Why?
they'll look to rest Rice.
You'd
So
surely put Mainu in though, wouldn't you? You'd put Kobe Mainu in, wouldn't you?
yeah, but then I would have thought that you would have put Rashford or Eze in um, instead of Madueke. But then who knows in this tournament?
Why are we focusing on resting Rice for Henderson, but we're not focusing on resting Kane?
I think with Kane, I don't know. I always feel that Kane is just one of those players that's pretty much always
He
going to
wants to
start in a
play.
competitive.
He
Yeah,
doesn't. He doesn't want a game off, does he? He wants to keep trying. He wants to keep. He's got 2 goals. He'll be eyeing up a few more tomorrow night. Well, and I don't like Woody said. We're not meaning this arrogantly, but Harry Kane in form is the best chance that we've got of winning a World Cup. Like he needs to be bagging.
Fantastic.
He scored 2 against Croatia. Missed a chance against Ghana that he could have got to 3. Tomorrow he'll be licking his lips.
Penalty against Croatia. Let's not forget.
Scored it, mate. Because the first one didn't count, because they encroached and that didn't count, Fifey.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we're winning at half time and Kane has scored. I wouldn't be surprised if
Yeah, get that.
But yeah, I to be fair, I totally forgot about Mainu as well. But Mainu again, he hasn't lived up since since his day. Was it his debut? Was the Euros last time, wasn't it? Since that, I don't think he's really been the player that we wanted to see either. So
With the exception of Declan Rice, arguably he's the most informed centre mid England have had in the Premier League.
You reckon?
Yeah.
He did play well for United. I'll give him back end of the season. He's been very good under Carrick.
In terms of centre mid, I don't include the likes of Gibbs White because they're attacking midfielders. In terms of actual centre midfielders, I would say Declan Rice is the only one to play better than him.
What about Elliot Anderson?
I quite like Anderson. I like Anderson a lot. And I've liked Anderson for England.
Anderson. I very much like Anderson. I think Anderson is there on merit because he clearly performs well in training, and I think he performed well over the season. I'm just saying in that snippet of time.
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Anderson's a different mould. I think Anderson's the one that releases the likes of Rice, Mainu, and Bellingham because he is willing to do that job that everyone said that we shouldn't be doing Rice to do anymore. So that's why Anderson. This Anderson, I rate him massively. You could see the news, can't you? He's off to Man City. You know what I mean? That massive record-breaking fee. I think he's a very, very good footballer. Very good brain. I like him. I do like him a lot. I think he's the one that I know we're saying about Henderson starting tomorrow. Henderson's backup for Anderson for me. Henderson's that one that sits deep. So for me, if they're gonna rest Anderson, that's when Henderson will play. If you're looking at it that place, like 2 players for each position, I think that's where that one comes in. But yeah, I think Anderson. I do agree with you, Fifey, on the main point.
Surely Chalabar plays there.
Oh no. That I agree with you on what the Chalabar one. The argument is that he said that Chalabar adds to our centre back option so that Quansah can be our potential right back. But there's no way Quansah's coming in right back. I like the idea tomorrow. If Reece James is not fit, it's simple, isn't it? You put Nico O'Reilly at left back and you play Jed Spence at right back. That's what you do. It's easy, isn't it? There's no doubt in my mind. That's what you do.
Yeah, Tuchel will do something abstract.
I've got a question as well. I know this isn't specifically for tomorrow. Do we reckon that Ivan Toney's going to be a Theo Walcott this World Cup and just
Ivan Toney's another one that shouldn't be in the squad?
Do we think he's because there was a lot of talk? Was it Ghana or Croatia? I'm sure it was the prelim to Croatia. There was a lot of talk about Tony. I think the BBC did something on him and all of this kind of stuff. And then it
Tony's
looked
only
like
gone because of his penalty credentials and nothing more.
yeah, he does take.
He
a
does
hell of
that.
a
He does
penalty.
have an impact though, and he's got a proven record with that. In the last, was it the last
Yeah, it was
Euros
the,
or the World Cup when he come on and he made? He's just different, isn't he?
Savinho,
Like,
it's Savinho.
yeah, and he come on, he made a difference. He ruffled some feathers. He had an assist for a goal. Was it? It was the Slovakia game, wasn't it? He come off the bench. He was in and about it, and then he as a scuff shot, and he flicked it back over to Kane for score the second. I kind of understand the Tony angle. I get it. I could see why he's that player that coming off the bench would have a bit more of an impact than some like a Danny Welbeck or a Calvert-Lewin or a,
Both have more of an impact on the squad than Tony.
but not off the bench, do they? I think he knows his point. He knows it. And John's just texted me a really good message actually, and I agree with it. He has said about Dan Burn, he's there for 15 minutes. If you ever need something to break
Yeah, but we need 90 minutes.
yeah, but no, but he's there. He's
This
an
is
option,
why
isn't he?
Swindon failed this year, is because Holloway was planning his fucking team for 20-minute periods.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, maybe starters and finishers and all that jazz.
Absolute nonsense.
Oh, don't finish like that. Come on now.
We're not finishing like that. It's prediction time because we are well over 2 hours today, boys. I
We
don't know what's
love it, don't
happening.
we?
Barry, England, Panama. After all this talk of where it's going to get corrected and football coming home again, what's the score prediction?
3-1 England.
Oh, we're conceding. Okay. Was?
No.
And we go out.
Honestly, mate, if it's still nil, I would be giving you money in advance for your home insurance for the shit I'd be doing to the building.
You won't be doing nothing in my house. I'll tell you that. No. I quite like Barry's prediction. I just don't know if they will score. I wouldn't mind them scoring if we're 3 or 4 up. I'm going to go 3-0 England.
Would he?
Fifey, love that.
I
comment
wouldn't
about
mind them scoring if
scoring.
we're 3 or 4 up. Is one of the worst things I've ever heard on this channel.
Oh, it'd be good for Panama, though.
I don't give a fuck about Panama.
I do when it doesn't matter.
No.
Pickford likes this.
Hey, throw it in.
He's got money on it. Ivan Toney's got money on it. He's going to come in and bang an own goal.
Go on, Ivan.
I'm going to go a little bit more humble. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win.
Humble crumble.
I'm going to say, because Woody said it doesn't happen, but I'm going to forget everything I've said. I'm going to take on board everything was said about how there are improvements to be made, and even though Panama have improved, no one answered my question. But England have clearly improved as well. I'm going to say we beat them 6-0 again.
I love you, Steve.
Gents,
Just had a full 20 minutes, half an hour of going absolutely fucking mental. I can't wait for us to win 6-0 with Henderson in the starting lineup.
Ivan
Doesn't
Toney
count.
bagging a hat trick.
doesn't count.
Ivan Toney and Henderson to start just literally tears them apart.
Do you know what? If that's the
And
answer to the starting
Chalobah.
lineup, I think I leave. I genuinely think
I'll
I leave.
hold you to that. If Henderson and Toney start tomorrow, you're going out the door
I think
straight
I'm
away.
leaving, yeah.
Leave-
Puts his coat on, walks straight out the door.
You can leave Trev for a couple of hours. He can stay.
It's like that Grandpa Simpson meme where he walks in, turns around and walks straight back
So
out.
Trevor, like the kid when he walks into the lounge, he's like, "Ooh," and then out.
Gents, this has been a laugh. Good to get you all back together. Reminder, there is no Fools Rush in next week. No Monday show, no Friday show. We continue to have a rest ahead of pre-season. But we are back on Monday the 6th with our now, and I suppose because it's the second time we're doing it, I can say, our now annual Bake Off episode. I know that at least 2, if not 3, hopefully 4 of tonight's panel are all doing it. It should be a laugh. Was to say no, he's not interested. He's not doing it.
I'll try the food though. If people are up for having a taster on it, we need a judge. I can be the judge.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll let the guys know that you'll go on a tour of everyone's house to try that.
I will literally go on a tour of everyone's house and try the and I can rate it. I'll be at Paul Hollywood, mate. No problem at all.
Jay
Fantastic.
Rayner.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you on the 6th of July, where I'm sure by then there'll be a lot more Swindon Town news as well.
Oh.
But from now, we've gone well into extra time, which it sounds like England are going to need in the knockout stages. Good night.
Fools rushing. Yeah, we're back again, like mates down the pub. Heart on sleeve, never tame. Yeah, from the chanting in the stands to the tackles flying in. Home and away, red blood, white shirt, where the fools rush in. Passion, debates, laughs, rants, late nights, Woody Bear, Nick Rich, Walter Kieran side by side, Craig and Ned, Joe and Mark, Art, Gary in the dark, and now we got Barry in. Yeah, the gang's all in.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more win. We'll make you laugh, make you cry, feel happy, feel angry inside. Fools rushing like a last minute swing, just like back in Swindon Town.
We go up, we fall down. From the goals that lift the roof, unit grows when it goes wide. We argue, we agree, but you're all here on the right. Fight by jumping in the chat. Every story, every stat. Thank you for watching, for listening, commenting back. Save our tires on the ball. The Dutch recruitment in our corner. This is our club, our crowd. Turn it up a little louder.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more win. We'll make you laugh, make you cry, feel happy, feel